Hey guys, welcome back to the Joy of Wrenching. My name's Les and I'm your friendly neighborhood mechanic. Today in the shop I got a 2013 Jeep Wrangler JK here, and the problem that the owner has is that it's not got any heat. The heater is not working. So today I want to show you how to diagnose this problem and then how to fix it. So come along and let's get into it. So if the heater's not working on your car, it could be a dozen different things that cause that. And on more modern cars like this 2013, the computers inside of these vehicles, there's lots of computers. There'll be one for the engine, one for the heating system, one for the lights. There's so many computers. But they're smart enough and they have enough sensors on them that they can really give you some clues as to where to start to find the problem with your modern vehicle. And so what we use often to do that are these, and those are different code scanners. You've seen these things used probably at the auto parts store, something like this, to check the reason for your check engine light being on. And as you can see here, I have multiples of these things, and sometimes you need different ones for different vehicle makes and different years and all of these things. But I found one that's even better in some ways than all of these that I already have. And that's right here in my pocket. And that's one of the reasons why I think it's better. I've got this new Kingbolen Ediag Elite. And I really am impressed with what this thing can do. So I want to show you how I'm going to use this, or you could use any code scanner to help you get to the bottom of a problem on one of these JKs, especially where it's not, the heater's not working correctly. So come along. All right, so let's see why this thing is not heating. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do with my Kingbolen Ediag Elite is I'm going to come underneath here and find my OBD2 port, and I'm going to plug this thing in. Just like that. And when you plug it in, you'll see the little green light comes on. And then we're going to come in here with our key and just turn the car to the on position. So I'm not starting it, I'm just turning it forward, and you'll see that it lights up all of the lights and everything on the dash. And the cool thing about this Ediag Elite is that it connects to your phone. And so you'll download an app for this thing. Oops, let me go back here. And the app is Ediag. Let's go ahead and open that thing up. And I'll try and keep the glare off of here. But basically, once you have your app open, this thing takes the place of all of those different tools out there. And this is so much more inexpensive compared to the thousands of dollars of equipment that you can have, especially if you go after those big name brands. So now that I've got my car in the on position, I've got my Ediag plugged into my ODB port, I've got my app up, I can go in here and just do an all systems diagnostics. It's kind of giving me a walkthrough of how to do it. We don't need that. Another cool feature is it will find the VIN number for you. So first it's going to connect Bluetooth wise to the dongle there, and in many cases it will upload automatically the latest software for you that it needs. So it's doing that right now, and you're seeing this in real time. So this will give you a feel for how quickly these things are done. All right, so it's done with downloading its software. Now it's looking for the VIN. Okay, there it goes. So it's found that it's a 2013 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. Click the diagnose button here. Oh, it's still loading something. Okay. Downloading some more data. Communicating. All right. As it's communicating, you'll see a little blue light flashing on the Ediag down there. So you know that it's communicating with it. Okay. There's our vehicle information. Yes. And you have choices here: health report, system scan, system selection. So health report is to run through all the different computers in the car. System scan is if you want to know which systems or which computers are in the vehicle. And then system selection is if you know the specific computer module you want to go into. We'll go ahead and run a health report, which goes through all of them. It asks that you turn the key on. We already have that done. All right, so here we go again, real time. We're going to run through all the different computers. If it's good and there's no codes, no fault codes, then it'll come up green. If there is a fault code, as you see it go by here, it will come up with a black and a number of codes. Now it's done running. You saw that in real time, very quick. And we have some fault codes in a few modules, and then we have a number of other modules that are clear. There's no errors in those. So the one that we're interested in, since we're dealing with a heater issue, is going to be our HVAC system, and there is a code in there. So let's see what the code says. So if we go in there, and we're into the computer for the HVAC now, and it says you have these choices. Module, tell me the information about the module, read the codes, clear the codes, read the data stream or the data stream from all the sensors, actuation tests, so we'll do some of that here in a minute, and then read the configuration or the way it's the software. But we're going to go read the codes. All right, so here we have a code B11CC-00. Main left temperature door number 1, travel is too small. Okay, so the temperature door travel is not right. Well, that would definitely cause a problem, as we have here, of no heat. So that's great. We have here freeze frame or search. Let's hit search and see what it pulls up. Well, if you hit search, it goes out to the internet through your phone, and it's pulling up all kinds of different videos. It'll also pull up the different forums and things like that, so you can read all about it. But it looks like most of the time this issue is going to be with our temperature door, which is over here on the left side, as it says, underneath the dash. And so let's go under there and let's see if we see anything wrong with that. And then we'll also come back into our app and let's see if we can actuate that, which it says here that we can. Maybe I jumped ahead too fast, so I backed out inside this module to active actuation test. Click that, and here are all the different things that it says we can do. So I'm gonna make it actuate that temperature door once we get under there and can actually look at it. And look at there, it's got the percentages that you can move it. So we'll play with that here in a minute. All right, so I have you set up here so that you can watch how we get to our main temperature door. So there's a little panel underneath the steering column here that you can pull off. Just get your fingers in there, pull it up and down, and then you can set that to the side. And then under here, once that is out of the way, we have a couple of 10mm bolts to remove. So that'll be next. All right, so let's get in here and get these 10mm. There's one. I'll set these bolts down here. There's 2. Okay. And then the little plate will come off. You have to kind of lift it up and out in order to remove it. There we go. And then once that's out of the way, you can start to see back underneath the dash there where we need to get to. And the temperature blend door is actually behind this vent tube, and then also back behind this module right here. And so we're going to go ahead and remove this module and this vent tube, and then we will show you that actuator behind it. Okay, so we're back to our actuator now. In order to get back there, we needed to unbolt this computer that was up in the way, and there's just 2 8mm bolts that hold it in place. And then we had to pop out this little vent here. And so this sits right here. You can kind of wiggle it and pull it, and it'll come towards the driver's side and get out of the way. So now that those are out of the way, we can look back in here. You can see the white arms as part of the actuator. One way to test if that thing is moving is get your key and put your car in the on position again. So let me do that. So keys in. I'm not starting it. I'm just moving it forward. Okay. And then we'll come over here and we'll change our temperature all the way from one side to the other and see if this little arm in there, this little white arm, is moving, swinging around to open the door or not. So that's all the way hot, no movement. I moved it all the way cold, and again, no movement. So this little actuator is bad, or the signal that's being sent is not being sent over here. But I hear other things happening whenever I move the knobs, so I know that the HVAC computer is doing something, and in all likelihood the actuator itself is bad. So we'll go ahead and unbolt that sucker and put a new one in there, and it's just held in place with 2 Phillips head screws. You can see the lower one, and then there's an upper one right above it. And so I'm going to go ahead and remove those screws and slip this actuator out of place. All right, so here's our old actuator, and it looks like it's a dormant part, so it's already been replaced, which is interesting. And here's a new one, and they look the same as far as the dimensions. The other thing you want to check is make sure it's got the same number of pins inside of here. We're going to have to transfer this little arm, so we'll slide it off of there. And interestingly, it brought the thing with it, so I have to set you down here for a second so that I can try to get this arm off of here. So we'll pull this out of here. It's kind of greasy, so I may need something else in order to do that. But I'll get a little screwdriver or something and pry this thing out, or maybe I can push it from here. Let's try and push it out. Ooh, there we go. All right, so we push that piece out. Now we got our little arm here, and we can slide it on to the new one, and it looks like it'll fit many different directions. So as you may already be aware, we're going to have to calibrate this new part once we get this new actuator in there. So before we put the new actuator in place, it's always a good idea to come in there and manually move the blend door or temperature door inside, make sure that there's no restrictions, and that's not the reason why it burned up the old actuator. And that one moves freely, so we'll go ahead and put the new one in. Okay, so we got our new actuator in place there, and we'll go ahead and turn on the car. And I'm gonna go over here, turn on the air conditioning, and then we're gonna set it to one side, temperature cold. Now I'm gonna move the dial to the hot side. Let's see if that thing moves at all. Hey, look at there. It's moving, doing what it's supposed to do. Excellent. So we'll do the calibration on this little arm and actuator here in a second, but we'll move it back to the cold side. So slide that to cold, and down it comes. So good full sweep. So it's looking like that was a bad actuator after all. That's always a good sign. And so we're verifying our fix. We'll do the actuation here, the calibration on the scan tool, and see if that makes any difference. All right, so let's go ahead and do an actuation test on the new actuator there. So we're going to go to our temperature actuator position, and let's just pick something in the middle and watch that little arm here. See if it moves. Yep, there it goes. So it is working. It is being actuated. Now with the Ediag Elite here from Kingbolen, I do not see the special function listed anywhere here to do a calibration of this thing. So I'm going to try a different tool that I have to see if that gives us that opportunity. All right, so I got my launch Diagon X431, and underneath the systems test of the HVAC system, we actually have our actuator calibration test available to us. And so we can do this on this tool, but not the Ediag Elite. So I found something that it doesn't do. So while it's doing this test, we should be able to see that little arm move full sweep one way then the other. There it goes. So it's working, and that's one thing that it won't do apparently. Okay, so there we go. We proved that the HVAC actuator for the temperature door was bad on this JK. We replaced it. It's working again. And we also showed that the Ediag Elite, even though it can see and actuate that little flapper, it does not have the special function to calibrate that flapper. So I had to use a different scan tool. But let's be honest, guys. I mean, the special functions sometimes are things that, the average DIYer isn't going to be doing. And so you may not miss that feature. But if you need it, this thing may not be the end-all be-all. It may not have all the functions that you need as your standalone scan tool. You may need others. That being said, I'm still very impressed with the thing and its ease of just putting that little dongle in your pocket, carrying it around in your glove box, whatever. You always have a heavy-duty scan tool available to you. So hopefully this helped you guys, especially if you're dealing with a no-heat situation from your Jeep Wrangler. And if you're looking at one of these Ediag Elites, hit the links in my description, and I think there's even a discount code for a limited time there. So I highly recommend it, and I hope that you guys learned a lot here and that this helps you fix your problem too. Y'all have a wonderful week, and God bless.